Hello everyone and welcome to a new boss guide. This time we're going after the Birdcage Witch. Her gimmick is that every time you attack her, she will get an attack buff. This buff will stack and she will lose all her stacks at the end of her turn, so attack her as little as possible. She only has two skills: an AoE attack and a burn. It's recommended to bring a healer capable of removing the burn, but not necessary if you can finish the fight fast enough. As usual, the battler mode fight is the exact same but harder and with more resistances. Since we want to attack her as few times as possible, using action advance and follow-up attacks are ill-advised. If you have to bring characters that have them because you don't have enough resources to upgrade more characters, just try to not activate them as much as possible. If you're using Ren for example, don't apply wound with her skill. That way she can't generate any magic and won't be able to trigger her follow-up attack. Also don't use your special attacks if you don't need to. Only use your breaker's special attack and eventually your healers or defenders if you need it for survivability. A really important thing to know is that if you attack the boss during her turn, you will refresh the duration of her buff before it expires, and she will keep them for her next attack. Pay close attention to her buff. As you can see, I used Yuma's special attack before the boss turn fully ended, so she kept all her stacks. For Nightmare, on top of her buff, she also launch a counter attack every time she's attacked by a burning character. This counter deals quite a lot of damage, so you really need to remove the burn as soon as possible. It might not kill you outright, but it will leave you vulnerable to her next attack. She only get one new skill in Nightmare and her skill rotation is really short. Her AoE skill comes right after her burn skill and will kill you easily if you don't heal before she uses it. Her least threatening attack is her AoE burn skill. It doesn't deal a lot of damage, so it's the best time to use special attacks and not get punished too much even if you give her a lot of attack buffs. While the burn can be ignored in Standard if your team is strong enough, you really need to remove it in Nightmare, otherwise her counters on top of the burn damage will add up really quickly. Although you could use two healers, using both a healer and a defender is generally better for double sustained team comps, since having a shield drastically reduces the chances of one of your character getting one shot by an attack with random targeting. I know I already said that action advance is bad for this fight, but it was mostly an oversimplification. Healers and defenders are pretty slow, and sometimes can't act between some of the boss attacks. If you use action advance carefully and only when necessary, you can bypass this problem. The best choice for this is Hazuki. She only action advance one character, so you can just advance either your healer if you need to remove the burn and heal your team, or your defender if she can't act before the boss to shield your team in time. Himika is also an option, but delaying the boss can make several of your characters go before her even if you don't need them to. At least her skill doesn't deal damage, so it won't buff the boss. Mami and Moemura, even though they are really good characters, aren't recommended here. Not only do they advance the whole team, they also deal damage while doing it. They're not unusable, but be careful with them and only use their skill if necessary. Another good buffer for this fight is Rika. She's not as good as Hazuki, but she can give MP to your healer, so it's easier to have their special attack ready in case you need more healing than their skill provide. These three are your only choice for a healer, but I don't recommend Ryra, even at Ascension 2. Getting her special attack might take too much time that you can't afford to lose since removing the burn is so important. Almost all the defenders are good choices for this fight. Kokoro is obviously the worst since she's a 4-star, but at least she isn't detrimental to the team like Sayaka. Do you remember what I said about waiting for the buff stacks to disappear before attacking? Well, if Sayaka is in the team, she will counter the boss before the buff expires every turn. Which means if Sayaka is in the team, the boss will stack her buff indefinitely. So if you benched your Kokoro when you got Sayaka, you're gonna have to use her again, at least for this fight. That's it for this guide. As always, a video of the fight is available in the description. And don't hesitate to leave a comment if you have a question. Goodbye and see you soon.